You can find her on YouTube along with Eric Macklin, the Gramlich and McLean podcast, ACC Network. Kelly Gramlich joining us now on the Heister Automotive Group hotline. Kelly, how are you?
Hello, Joe. I am doing great. I'm sorry to hear about Giglio. It seems that something's going around. I don't know, flu. I hope he doesn't have that, but I hope he's feeling better soon.
think at this point we just spin a wheel and hope it's not COVID.
Seriously.
And then, it's just a cold. We forgot about those.
Yeah.
We forgot about garden variety colds. You seem to be in a good mood. I know you were busy yesterday with the start of the college basketball season. I get the sense, though, down in South Carolina that Dabo's not in a good mood after they got it handed to them by Notre Dame. And now, distracting from the poor defensive performance is what the heck are they going to do at quarterback now? This went from we're all in with DJ Uiagalelei, Cade Klubnik, he came in, he did what he needed to do, now to, about that. So where are things right now with the Tigers?
Well, I think it's the old saying that we love. When you have two quarterbacks, you have none. Mm-hmm. And that's the issue right now down at Clemson. And we talked about this before the NC State game. And we had both you guys on our podcast as well.
Yeah.
DJ was completely different in September and October. That was good DJ. That was a different DJ than we saw last year. He was playing really well. At one point, I think he had 17 touchdowns, 3 picks. That's going to get it done. And he was getting it done, beating a good NC State team, beating a good Florida State team, beating a good Wake Forest team. We saw what DJ could do. Something has happened in the last couple weeks. And I think the Syracuse game really shook him mentally. That has to be the only logical explanation here. And then because it seems the playbook and the confidence in him has also been shaken, I think, for this staff, because that's the only way you can kind of explain that game plan at Notre Dame, which was so incredibly vanilla. It just felt like it was back to them not trusting him again, which is what we saw last year.
Yeah.
So where are we with the quarterback position? I think DJ still starts against Louisville, but I think the leash and that term, Mac and I are talking about how that term is weird. We don't love the term leash.
Yeah. Some things we got to get out of the vocabulary.
Yeah. But we think the tolerance, if you will, is going to be lower. I think if he struggles on 2 drives right off the bat, they'll go to Cade, and we haven't seen that yet. So
Kelly,
I think that's what will happen.
Kelly Gramlich joining us here on the OG. Gramlich and McLean is the podcast, ACC Network. It's funny talking about Klubnik. This isn't the Kelly Bryant, Trevor Lawrence situation. I think some people tried to make it that in the summertime, like, well, they just got the next guy coming through. We see this at State sometimes where, if this guy doesn't have it, well, we're QBU. There's another guy that's going to come through. We could be seeing that a little bit with MJ Morris going forward. So who is Cade Klubnik? What were the true expectations for him going into the year?
I'm not sure that there is an equivalent here during the Dabo Swinney era of who is Cade Klubnik. I think he is a unique situation. Now, he is a 5-star. By some services, he was the number 1 quarterback in his class. So he's obviously extremely talented. But he doesn't have that ability as a freshman, as a true freshman, that Trevor Lawrence obviously had going on to win the national championship, and that Deshaun Watson had before he got hurt, and even after he got hurt when he beat South Carolina playing on a torn ACL. So I think the expectation was Trevor or Deshaun, and it's like Clemson fans don't really have much else because it is rare that a true freshman plays or starts for Dabo Swinney at quarterback. And when he has, it has literally been Deshaun or Trevor Lawrence. So to hold him to that standard is very difficult. Now, I do think he's been put in some very tough situations this year. We saw him look good in garbage time against Georgia Tech, but beyond that, he gets thrown in the Syracuse game, and basically they're saying, we have 3 turnovers, don't you dare turn it over, try to help us win this game, but you're really going to hand the ball off to Shipley. And he made a few good decisions with his arm, but it really was Shipley. Against Notre Dame, they said, all right, we're down 14-0. We'll put you in on your own 4-yard line. Best of luck. I mean, what true freshman, I'm not even sure Trevor Lawrence gets a first down there. Like that is a brutal situation, especially with how these wide receivers are playing. So I don't think we've really seen him put in the best situations. And that's why I'm intrigued to see what they do against Louisville, because if they actually put him in a first half where the pressure's lower, where things haven't gone completely terribly yet, then you can see him perhaps settle into a game and see what he can do. But I think it's obvious, at least right now, he's not Trevor Lawrence, he's not Deshaun Watson, but who is?
Yeah, the standard is funny. It's like Carolina basketball, too. They just expect the next point guard to come through to be yet another NBA caliber point guard who's going to help them win a national championship. Now, that might be the case again for the Tar Heels in basketball this year, but things just started. We'll see how that goes. Kelly Gramlich, ACC Network, Gramlich and McLean is the podcast. Speaking of the Tar Heels, but football-wise, look, a couple weeks ago, we were starting to get the idea that, all right, Clemson's opponent is going to be the Tar Heels. Based on what we've seen out of the Tar Heels and who they've played and the defense, it's going to be a Clemson championship. However, the confidence has been shaken with Clemson, and Drake May seems to just kind of have it. Sometimes teams are blessed in these close situations. You think Carolina could do it? You think Carolina could beat Clemson in Charlotte?
I think it'll be a game, at least from what we know right now, because Drake May does have it. Mm-hmm. Drake May is him, as the kids say. And I think he is the ACC Player of the Year right now. And barring Jordan Travis just continuing to do what he does and doing it at an extremely high level at FSU, winning out or whatever, I think Drake May is the ACC Player of the Year. And this UNC team also has a very interesting quality to it, besides the Notre Dame game, of course, where they just find a way and they have that belief. I mean, if you're asking, which team is more confident right now, I'm not in the Clemson locker room. I'm sure that Dabo Swinney's, coaching them up as much as he can and trying to get that confidence back. But I think UNC's feeling pretty good about themselves. My main question with a Clemson-North Carolina ACC title game is who's the quarterback for Clemson and what does this offense look like? Can this offense score 30?
Yeah.
Because it feels like to beat North Carolina, you've got to at least score in the high 20s, low 30s. I mean, this team's going to score, especially because Clemson's defense has not lived up to the preseason hype. Mm-hmm. So I think we'll learn a lot in these next 3 weeks. We'll also learn about UNC. Can they go beat Wake? Can they beat NC State? These are the questions. But right now, it's really tough to answer, who wins because we don't know what's going on with Clemson's offense. But I'll tell you, over the last couple of weeks, I definitely think it's much more of a game than I thought it was going to be.
I'm with you on that. The question is, Carolina's defense. Carolina's defense continues to be an issue. They're a get-right game for whoever has been struggling. Look at what Brennan Armstrong was able to do against them this past week. Are you telling me that Clemson's run game can't get going against that defense? It might not just be about who the quarterback is. They can just run it at him the same way that Notre Dame was able to do that against the Tar Heels just a few weeks ago. But I'm with you. I went from, Clemson, are they going to be good enough or beat teams enough to get in the college football playoff conversation? We know that that's probably sailed now because of the loss to Notre Dame, and it's shifted to, just how much of a game is it going to be? But we got a few weeks to see where things are confidence-wise. Kelly Gramlich, check her out. Gramlich and McLean is the podcast, ACC Network. Good to talk to you. We'll talk to you later.
All right. Thanks, Joe. Appreciate it.